It's all about the change in how we view certain things in life, starting with the people wanting to go out and get their 15 seconds of fame, or a woman who has the passion going out on that sports ground and commentating for a professional sports game. Women in the sports media are stereotyped every day by how they look, the way they act, and most importantly, their intelligence. Women have such strong composure when it comes to them being judged in the sports media industry for the fact that they could feel any man or woman would be envious of them for the knowledge that they have displayed. Today, while the number of female sports broadcasters is on the rise, most will say that looks do play a major part in this business. Inez Sainz is a TV Azteca sports reporter for her local home in Mexico and is also known for her model photos that she has done in her past. In 2008, Inez was on the football field reciting the sports news for all football fans around the world. While conducting an interview with a professional male athlete, a voice was said in the background, a comment on how Inez was dressed and the way she looked while being taped on camera interviewing this professional athlete.
When I get into the locker rooms, in the minute I get walking, I hear some noises and some like the people are joking about my presence there, the players. But I decided not to pay attention because I wasn't focused on my job.
Inez was targeted for her body image and the way she conducted the interview going into the men's locker room, and was looked at the way she was dressed rather than how the player reaction was to the game and the questions she was asking. For all you sports fans out there, you shouldn't view women as eye candy or any other objects that you have in mind about them. They are there to be professionals, and they deserve your respect as well.
Of all the stereotypes in media that have a negative effect, the one that can be seen as the most apparent is the portrayal of women in magazines and advertisements. Every day you see image after image of flawless women in advertisements and television, and you envy their beauty. Most women see these images and feel as if they need to look as beautiful as these models and celebrities that are in these pictures. Media such as television, magazines, and advertisements portray women as thin, flawless, and sexy, giving young girls a warped perception of what it means to be a beautiful woman. Women of all ages are bombarded with image after image of flawless, skinny, edited women, featured not only in magazines like 17, but all media. After seeing these images of gorgeous, picture-perfect women, girls question their own beauty and thrive to be as pretty as the girl on the cover of the magazine. The images that young girls see as a child can later warp their perception of what beauty really looks like. An example is this bare-faced picture of popular singer Kesha. In the November 2010 issue of 17, advertised on the cover, it says that Kesha takes off her makeup and comes clean about her party girl past. Most people would think that a picture of a celebrity stripped down of makeup would be encouraging to young girls, but when you look closely, you can tell how edited to perfection the singer's face is. The picture is edited to make Kesha's face look flawless and airbrushed, and a fan is conveniently giving her that wind-in-the-hair look. Images like this give girls a false sense of what being beautiful is. The edited image of Kesha's natural look is a perfect example of unreachable beauty. No matter how much young girls and women are surrounded by image after image of literally perfect and will never reach that level of feel inferior perfection. It's important that young girls and everybody know that advertisements are heavily edited and that level of flawlessness isn't reachable beauty.
Much like women being stereotyped in the media, the same can be said about men. There are many stereotypes about men in the media.
In conclusion, here's a video of how photographers get that wind-in-the-hair look.
In the past, men were stereotyped as strong, independent, successful breadwinners and a family man. But this is no longer the only way that men are shown in the media. More prevalent and negative stereotypes, such as man being a sex-driven pig or the incompetent father or husband figure who just can't seem to do anything right, persist throughout advertisements and television sitcoms. Essentially, men have de-evolved in the eyes of the media. I'm sure we've all seen these stereotypes all the time in television sitcoms and advertisements. Think about some television shows that aired throughout the years, such as Family Guy, The Simpsons, Everybody Loves Raymond, According to Jim, and the list goes on. The same premise of negative stereotypes of men persists throughout these shows, portraying them as stupid and incompetent fathers and husbands. Sitcoms are not the only thing stereotyping men. Think about advertisements in between the shows. Advertisements follow a similar theme and are more centered around portraying men as stupid, sex-driven idiots. Beer advertisements are a prime example. Beer advertisements play on the idea that men are stupid and easily distracted by women, with no care in the world as long as they have their nice, refreshing beer. While these shows and advertisements are often hilarious, they can limit our views of men, husband, and father figures. These stereotypes can seep into our lives many times without even us realizing it. I'm sure you too have been around a male-bashing conversation without thinking much of it. This seems to be becoming a norm and acceptable with little resistance. If these are the only messages we see, then people may start to believe them and encourage this ridiculous behavior because it seems funny or like normal male behavior. I would not want my future kids to grow up seeing men being portrayed as a joke figure in the family, and I'm sure many others wouldn't either. If we can become aware of these dim portrayals of not only men, but women and all other groups in the media, then we can try to break free of these limiting views.
I'm here to inform you on the negative stereotype the media has done a great job portraying to police officers. The media has given cops a very negative stereotype, giving them the worst image possible in the eyes of the public. Thanks to television shows and movies, they've been portrayed as lazy, stupid individuals who do not do their job. But worse than that, thanks to the news media, they've been portrayed as very bad people who are just out there to get you. Yes, there are incidents where cops have done terrible things to get this stereotype. But because a certain few have messed up, do we have the right to look at all cops the same? Truth is, most cops are simply out there to do their jobs, to serve and protect the community. For every time one cop has done something bad, another 1,000 may have put a criminal behind bars and perhaps saved a life. Unfortunately, you won't hear this from the media. Instead, they've put cops in shows like The Simpsons, South Park, or Reno 911 and portrayed them as total idiots. The Simpsons, for example, has Springfield's Chief Wiggum, an overweight, lazy cop always eating donuts and not doing his job right. South Park's finest is Officer Barbrady, the most unintelligent individual on this whole show, pretty much pointless to their community. Then there's Reno 911, a show with several cops, all idiots, crooked, and 2 do not do their job right. Fortunately, these shows are meant for nothing more than entertainment, and hopefully the viewers do not actually take these portrayals of cops too seriously. On the downside, the portrayal the public has taken in is the one the news media has fed them, cops being bad people. This is due to the fact that the media only gives negative stories on cops. Anytime a cop does something bad, you don't hear the end of it. For weeks, that's what will be headline news, and that's how it always has been. What about the good stories on cops? We never hear those stories on the news. Why? Simple. We as humans would rather see the bad stuff. It's more entertaining to us for some reason, as well as gives us an excuse to criticize. The news will not post all the good stuff cops do because, for one, I said before, people won't watch it. And 2, if the news put every single good thing a cop did in their daily reports, that's all there would be. In other words, there are too many good things cops do daily to report, there'd simply be no time. In a sense, the public isn't exactly to blame for the stereotype cops have been given, but more the news media. If that's all people hear about cops is the bad things they've done, then they don't know any better. Perhaps if the news showed the good things cops have done, even if it were just once in a while, perhaps they'd have a bit of different stereotype than they have today. Till then, keep an open mind about cops. Don't assume they're all bad, all idiots, or however it is you look at them. You may need them one day, and I bet they won't look like such bad people then. Till then, keep an open mind about cops. Don't assume they're all bad, all idiots.
Police officers are not the only group stereotyped negatively. For instance, what's the first thing you think of when you hear the word pit bull? Most people think of all the horror stories, people getting mauled, and all the things they hear on the news. You might become a little apprehensive or a little anxious when thinking about the word. But why is this? These thoughts and behaviors are mainly caused by stereotypes. An easy example found in the media would be to simply type in pit bulls into Google Images. It'll leave you with images such as these. These pictures are without doubt frightening. But is this really how pit bulls behave? The answer to this is no. Through news media, pit bulls have been left with a bad reputation. This breed has many misconceptions. For instance, many people believe that pit bulls are inherently aggressive. In other words, it's in their genes. This is false. Pit bulls can be aggressive, but only due to bad environments or bad owners. Looking from an opposing view, have there been reports of dog attacks consisting of pit bulls injuring or even killing people and other animals? Yes. These dogs are more than capable of causing injury and permanent damage. But thinking from a larger perspective, aren't most, if not all, dogs capable of doing the same? Breeding society of this breed is not going to end dog attacks. This is because pit bulls are not the only dog that can be aggressive. This stereotype has caused many problems for pit bulls. Being a breed of dog that has a bad reputation is not going to help these dogs get homes. Why would somebody want to bring a pit bull, aggressive and evil dog, into their family's home? A shelter owner observes that pit bulls are routinely looked over by potential adopters, fearful of the breed's vicious reputation. People tend to believe everything they hear, particularly on the news. Whether that information is true or not, people do not tend to see the bigger picture. The news only reports incidents that are out of the ordinary, or tragic incidents. Do you really think a news station is going to report on a neighborhood stray pit bull not attacking anyone or doing anything? No, nobody would watch the station. This is what people do not understand. So to recap, not all pit bulls should be considered a threat to society. Are there some pit bulls that are mean and violent? Yes, but this is not a characteristic of pit bulls. It is merely a generalized belief that has been portrayed through the media. Pit bulls should be recognized for the loving, loyal, obedient behaviors that they are more than capable of having. Take a look at the images that media doesn't show you.